Hello and welcome back to Neuropa City Zoo. So in today's episode, we have a huge time lapse today. We do a lot of building. Last episode, it was a little bit of a shorter build one, and this one I just went all out for it. So right beside over there, last time we did that lemur habitat. It's over kind of to the left if you're looking towards the back of the zoo. Today we're doing the big middle one to start with, and this is our South American tropical habitat. So it's another mixed habitat. We're going to have the capuchin, Baird's tapir, and the giant anteater. All in this habitat. So that's why it's fairly large. The tapir and the anteater both live in fairly small groups, but the capuchin lives in very large groups. So I'm hoping kind of over time we can get a bunch more of them and they will just kind of, take over the space. But for the most part, there's nothing too exciting about this habitat, I suppose. I threw in a little bit of a pond here that ended up turning into a river in the end. Just because I think the tapir swims for sure. I think the anteater does as well. I can't remember. We'll take a closer look at all of them in the real-time part anyway. But just wanted to throw in some water so, they can drink from a natural source, and it just kind of adds a bit to it as well in this little, rainforest sort of environment. And as for the guest spaces, kind of similar to what we did in the lemur habitat, there is a sort of, treehousey vibe going on with that little platform in the center there. We're going to put a tree coming up right through the middle. And then next episode, we'll be making kind of the buildings and details around those guest areas. So I thought, they're all going to be, I think, similar. So I wanted to do them all at once rather than just doing one habitat at a time. So essentially, this episode's the last episode where we're making these habitats, kind of like the animal part of it. And then the next episode we'll have to actually be doing all of the building. And, I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. I want it to kind of be treehousey vibe on those platforms, but some of it might be very open air as well. I think we'll do some shelter, but maybe not full walls, like we've done with all the other buildings. I'm not totally sure yet, but we will see. We'll see how it turns out. I'm excited to see exactly how that goes. But yeah, I think the rest of a lot of this is just adding foliage. I get rid of all the supports on this pathway because I do want to make it essentially supported to the tree rather than supported to the ground. So right now it looks like it's just floating there, but I think it will look better once we get past it. But yeah, this is what I was talking about here with the river. Is now coming through all the way through the center, but there's space on either side, so the capuchin can still go to either side. I think maybe it would be worth making some more rock bridges so they can cross at more areas too, so they don't have to walk around so much, but I don't know, I haven't added that in yet. We'll see. I think for the most part it doesn't really matter. They don't need to get to the back of the habitat anyway. I end up putting all of the food enrichment items and that kind of thing right up at the front, along the glass section, so that the guests can see them. I think it gives them an excuse to come out of the actual forest part and hang out in front of the guests and that kind of thing. So I don't know if there's really too much more to talk about in this habitat specifically. I think it's mostly just going to be it's just doing the ground, doing the enrichment items, that kind of thing. But I did want to talk briefly about the fact that this is going to be within the last couple of sections of the zoo. So we have essentially this tropical area, and then we have one area to the left of the entrance there, opposite of where we did the African area. And then that's it for Neuropa City Zoo. I don't want to drag it on too much. I think this is a good size, it's large. Essentially, I just want to make sure that we can get to 5 stars before we finish. I think we're a little bit off on education and on guest happiness. But yeah, so I do kind of have some ideas for the next zoo. I want to make it very hot themed because we're going into the summer, and I'm really excited about that. But yeah, you can let me know what kind of, if you have any really fun ideas for our next zoo. I don't know. I think I want to mix it up a little bit. I don't want it to look exactly like Neuropa City Zoo. I have a little bit of a fear that like my best aesthetic is this like modern, and I might have gone, for what I'm best at right off the bat, which less than maybe ideal. But I'm willing to expand. I want to try some new stuff. I think I've learned a lot building in this one, and I think I have a little bit of a better idea of what I enjoy building and like what makes me really excited to play this game and to build in this zoo. So I'm really excited to bring some of that to a new zoo as well. And it's going to be in the same franchise. So essentially what I want to do is kind of create this whole franchise thing. And even though, right now on the screen we have a lot of conservation credits. By the time this is all over and we've bought all of our new animals, we don't have very many conservation credits yet. But the idea of sharing multiple franchises is basically to share conservation credits and animals and that kind of thing. So I'm excited to not quite have to start from scratch, but essentially we'll be starting with, the zero funds again and that kind of thing. But maybe we'll even try a hard mode zoo since, we managed to kind of get to 5 stars fairly easily here. I don't know. Let me know what you think and let me know what you want to see and all of that fun stuff. But generally speaking, I'm thinking hot climate, maybe we'll go off. Maybe we'll do something kind of deserty. I know not a lot of people do deserts, and I am a little bit of, I'm not afraid, I guess, but I do think the desert aesthetic is going to be a little bit harder to do, but I think it could be really fun. But, let me know your thoughts, obviously. So the actual, I think I did maybe say that we didn't do any building in this one, but we actually do, a big part of this is building this gondola station. So what I wanted to do here was kind of tie a little bit. I wanted to keep it, sort of the modern theme. I didn't want it to stick out too much. At first I thought about maybe just using a bunch of the South America pieces and making it, super fun and, tropical looking, I suppose, with the, all the bamboo and that kind of thing. But I decided I still want it to fit in with everything else. It's very, I don't know. I think this zoo, one thing that I really like about this zoo is that everything sort of goes together. It's not very gimmicky. It's very much just like kind of that city zoo vibe. And maybe for the next zoo we go a little bit more gimmicky, because I do think it's fun to have that sort of like themed area thing going on, but we just haven't done that yet, so I didn't want to start that now. So essentially I tried to get a good balance here of, using some of the South America pieces, keeping it kind of like tropical-ish, but also keeping with a lot of the colors and like the wood pieces and stuff that we've been using throughout the entire zoo. So I hope you kind of like how this turned out. This framing, I'm actually not a big fan of it or how it turned out, and in the end I actually needed to remove the bottom pillars anyway because the monkeys could, or the animals could climb it. All of the animals in this habitat could climb it. So yeah, not fully recommended how I did it. And I ended up putting walls in the bottom anyway, so it's kind of hidden. But yeah, it looks a little bit rough, but I think in the end it kind of all comes together once we actually put in the walls and such. And you can kind of see from where I did the exit path there, we're going to be doing an option to go up or down that exit ramp and into the like over top of the next habitat. We're going to do more of those treehouse things and that kind of thing. So you can get there from the exit path here as well. So we'll see if that makes it too busy, because it's not a super wide pathway, but I'm not sure. This area isn't overly busy anyway. I guess we'll see what happens once it's actually all set up, but so far it's not too bad. So yeah, here's when I started with thinking, okay, well, let's do it very tropical, very, using these South America pieces. I ended up getting rid of these in the end, and replacing them with the metal roofs, just because I thought that it went together so much better. But the same sort of idea still fits here. Essentially, we're doing like a 2-tiered sort of building, and these bamboo pieces for structural support. we do keep, and I really like how they look. Even with some of the more modern pieces kind of mixed in, I think this kind of adds a good amount of that tropical jungle sort of feel to it. But jumping back and forth a little bit on topics, because there's only so much that I can talk about I can talk about the building that's going on right now. What are your thoughts on like the gimmicky kind of zoos? Like, and by gimmicky, I kind of mean like themed, like the really theme heavy. Like, oh, the South America area is going to have, full on, like, all of those fun South America decorations. The Africa area is going to use, all of the Africa pieces, and it's going to look really cool. Maybe it all is a little bit tied together, but for the most part, I see a lot of people do zoos that have different sections, have totally different decor. Do you prefer zoos like that, or do you prefer the ones like this, where it's very much... if it's themed, it's very, very subtly themed per area, and overall the whole point is for it to all kind of match and essentially just look like you're in a single area. Because I'm still not really sure what I want to do for building theme for the next zoo. I have a pretty good idea of what I want for like animal theme and for environment theme and that kind of thing, but I have no idea what I want to do for like building and how it's decorated and that kind of thing. So if you have some ideas, or if you have some preferences, what do you think looks the best? And same with rides. I don't know. I think I have an idea. I think I want to do like kind of like one of the car rides, the safari car. I want to try that out, just because I think it is kind of neat to be able to be like more one-on-one with the animals. It's more of a ride that way. I feel like the gondola, I guess you can kind of oversee the zoo, and like I'm sure there's a lot of really pretty views on the gondola ride, but the point of it in this zoo is more to just be able to get to different locations in the zoo quickly, rather than having to walk around the whole thing. Whereas I think I'd like to play with actually creating a ride for the sake of having a ride, rather than, for the sake of transportation, I guess. If that makes any sense. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any particular themes that you really liked that people have done before, or anything like that. Really, I'm really curious to see what I don't know, to get some ideas. I need some ideas. Point me to some videos. Like I feel like sometimes my ideas for building, like as much as I love to do it, and I really enjoy building, and I really enjoy like the creative aspect of it, I feel like in this game, the more I play it, the more stuck I get, and like I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, and I don't want to do that. I want to like be excited and create something totally new and fun and that kind of thing. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think, and what you might want to see in that next zoo. But yeah, in terms of where we are at in the video, we'll jump back to that now. You can see it's kind of finishing off here. So this is basically what it ends up looking like. Apart from, I'm going to replace those leaf patches with some actual wooden walls. Just because I wanted to... I was thinking it still didn't really match quite enough to everything else. But yeah, very subtly themed, I think, here. Basically the only thing that we kept is the bamboo kind of structural parts, but I think it worked out. I don't mind how it looks. I think it doesn't stick out too much, which is nice. It just kind of matches well with everything else. So, and let me know what you think about this station. It's definitely a little bit more decorated than our other stations. I feel like our other stations are a little bit more straightforward, but yeah, this one just has a bit of extra detail, which was fun actually to make, and I think the colors go together pretty well. And underneath, similar to the very first station that we made, adding in just a drink stand, a food stand, and an information booth. Underneath here is, just a little pathway, sitting area, that kind of thing. I think we do I'm pretty sure next we're going to do the gardens on camera as well, because I know a lot of the detail work I hadn't done in the time lapses previously, so I thought maybe we'd do some more detail work on camera this time and see what you guys think, if you prefer seeing all those details, or if you prefer just seeing the greater part of the build, and then the details just kind of magically appear afterwards. I'm not really sure. I don't really know what is more and what is less entertaining to watch. maybe ultimately it's just, whatever is kind of entertaining to listen to and to see. But yeah, I just wanted to put in some little gardens here, kind of like we do randomly throughout the rest of the zoo. We have that curb, the nice white crisp, like cornered curbing there, which I think we've put in throughout this entire zoo. I think that's one of our most common themes going on here. And then I do add one more in over here as well, just because it ended up, the way that this path worked and like could connect to each other, I had to leave this little bit of a space, but I think it's fine. I think, you add another cute little garden here, and it all sort of, ties itself together a little bit. And, this area is going to eventually have all of the viewing devices and speakers and presentation stuff on it. So yeah, there's the guests hang out over there, so why not have a cute little tree garden there as well. So we just a minute ago we switched into the rainy season, because I did have to click play for a little while to get the new animals in and all that kind of thing, and then it started raining. So unfortunately the rest of this is kind of in a bit more of a gloomy state, but I didn't really want to have to wait until it got sunny again to give these animals what they needed in their habitat. So like I had mentioned before, I wanted to do from the exit of the gondola here, I wanted to make it a pathway up to the little like treehouse stand in the new habitat, which I actually haven't even really mentioned what it is yet. So this habitat that we are working on now that the gondola is done, is an African tropical habitat. So this one has a few African animals that, there's a lot more tropical African animals that I did not include. And I know the lemurs could have been included here, but I don't know, I like the lemurs having their own habitat. But this one we end up doing the gorilla, we end up doing the mandrill, the chimp, and the bonobo. All of them can live together in this game in harmony. I don't think it's very realistic that they could all live in this kind of enclosed space together without attacking each other, but in the game it works. So you know what? I'm totally fine with just having that be the thing. I thought that it was a really good theme for this habitat. You can kind of see all of the, I don't know what they're, maybe I should have looked it up. I should probably educate myself a little bit better on them. But all of the, like, I know they're not monkeys. I know they're not all apes. They're chimps and whatever else. But you know what I mean. Kind of, they're all, they're all that sort of same sort of general species, I guess. I'm not sure how to put it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So let's just jump into the real-time part. Okay, so let's take a look at what we managed to build in today's episode. Oh, look at this whole back area. I think it just like, I don't know, the sight lines, like it just totally blocks it off from the back. I'm thinking, I do think I want to bring the gondola in, because I do think it's kind of silly that the gondola is looking back and like over top of the staff buildings and stuff. Might be more worth it if it like kind of came in right along the center of these habitats, but I'll do that later. What I want to look at right now, I know this has been, the time lapse probably took forever, or the speed build, but I really want to take a close look at the animals that we've got. So let's start over here with the South America habitat. Let's just first of all name this. Oops. South America tropical. Okay, so for animals, we have our Baird's tapir, which is great. Looks like, yeah, they haven't had babies yet. We have him, and we have, who's just kind of floating there. And let's see, where's the female? She is over here, all swimming. Look at that, how cute. Oh, that's the big, I was like, is that a little anteater? But no, it's a giant anteater, just like half out of the water. Very cool. Let's take a look. And they're all, it looks like their stats are all good, so that's nice. The capuchin, we've got a bunch of them because they really like to be in a lot of big, social groups. Is it actually, yeah, it's not even enough yet. So I think we might let them have a few babies, and then we're actually almost out of conservation credits. I didn't expect to like ever run out of those since we've been doing so well, but yeah, apparently, that was about it. So, oh, look at them playing. That's so cute. Okay, I love this habitat. It's so fun. And let's take a look at what we have for anteaters as well. Just 2 as well. I mean, the game hasn't been on play for very long, so they might mate later. But let's go and find them. Bartholomew. Cute. Oh boy, we have to deal with our seals. Let's just do that now quickly. Because I want to be able to look at these guys in real time. I want to be able to see them running around. Who's our new male? Noah. Send you to the trade center. Perfect. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so we saw our anteaters. I'm really excited to see some babies. I haven't actually played around much at all with the South American animals, so that's super fun. And yeah, it looks like they all really enjoyed this little pond, which is great. Even though, I mean, it's a bit of a private area. I guess, can you really see it from over here? I tried to leave some, like, open. Yeah, you can kind of see it if you really look down there. You can see them swimming. But, I mean, all of the food and enrichment and stuff is right up against the glass, so, you know, everybody's going to be able to get a good view of all these animals. And the research has started, so we'll be able to give them the better quality food and all of that. Oh no, these guys can still escape? Oh boy, okay. Okay, first of all, let's move you down here and figure out how you're getting there. Then we'll have to emergency capture poor George. Or Jorge, I guess, probably. Okay, let's take a look at this. What do we have for habitat? Where are you climbing up? Okay, I'm actually not sure how exactly they're getting up. It might even be better just to watch them and keep an eye on him until he does escape. Shoot, it could be like any of these trees. I'm not totally sure what their jumping range is, and there's a few trees around here that, like, it looks like they probably could climb up and jump down, like this one. Oh, darn it, where are you? Oh, okay. Shoot, which capuchin should we watch? Are you? Oh no, that's garbage. Okay. Oh, we're good, we're good. And you've also escaped, okay. Alright, we're gonna need to, you need to give me a minute to figure this one out. Okay, there we go. It looks like we figured that one out, just moved a bunch of trees out of the way of the path, which is totally fine, but yeah, there are South American animals. I'm super excited to see what it looks like once all of this interior stuff is built up next episode, but we'll have to wait for that. Let's take a look at our African tropical animals. We're all of our apes and chimps and gorillas and oh, so fun. So we've got our bonobos just kind of chilling over here. Oh, right, I need to add some more hard shelter in for them because the that space underneath that platform is not enough. I'm just going to throw in something simple like one of those wooden structures or something like that. That should be totally fine. We'll just hide it in the trees and make them all happy. Toy enrichment. I think we need to do a little bit of research before we can get all of the toy enrichment for them. Right, where's everybody else? Oh, here we go. We've got a whole bunch of mandrills hanging out over here. Same thing, we just need a little bit of shelter, that's fine, and then they need their nutrition up, but we'll get there as well. I've got all of the, I think we have 5 of them now. I needed like 5 mandrills, 3 of everyone else, and yeah, the chimp as well. Oh, how many chimps do I have? 1 chimp? Really? Is that true? Did I just like not get any more chimps? What? Oh boy, okay. Well, clearly I missed that one. I guess because there was like no female chimps. How many do you actually need? Let's take a look. So we have up to 10 males, up to 10 females, minimum 5. Okay, so yeah, so we need both. We can do both males and females, I guess. Oh, darn, okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for them because it seems like it's kind of hard to find female chimps, but I'll grab this guy anyway and throw him in, and hopefully it's a little bit better. I'll you know, watch the trade center for those guys and pick them out as well. But yeah, so it's the bonobos, the mandrills, the chimps, and where are our gorillas? There's one. Very fun. Oh, she's pregnant! Look at that! Okay, perfect. And I think they also just want better hard shelter, yeah, so I'll make that update off camera as well, but yeah, I mean, that's probably about the end of what's going on here. We have, I obviously put up all the education, so hopefully this is all good. We are very close. Well, our education rating actually went down a little bit. But over time, we're getting very close to getting to our full 5 stars, which I really want to do before we end this series. So we need to, we will eventually need to focus on guest happiness a little bit, but also education. So I've been trying to put up as many education boards as possible. Hopefully, once we get these areas up a little bit too, they'll have plenty of education spots up in there as well for our guests to see. But it looks like, this area is, well, I guess not as populated as it should be with these giant pathways, but I'm just going to pause it. But yeah, it looks like this area looks nice and crowded. Everybody getting up there and going up to this way, so I'm excited to see what it looks like when those are actually built, and there's some, food and drink buildings and that kind of thing up there, because food and drink are always our low for our guest happiness, and education as well. So I did add these in. The dates might not be very good, actually. We'll do February and July for these ones. We've got a lot of educators, so hopefully they can all come and do talk points here. I think this is going to help with our education rating a lot too. That one's March. That's not one. It's over here. Let's set this one at November. Just space them out a little bit. I think I already spaced these ones out 3 for that habitat. And yeah, I think that is really all we have to go over in this episode. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comment section below what you want to see in these videos. How can I make these videos better? All of that. Any ideas that you have. We're pretty much wrapping up this zoo now, so I am super happy to collect ideas for our next one. But with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you in the next episode.